Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm Julie and I'm a knitter coming from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but I've also lived in Central Europe, and so that vibe also permeates my channel. In today's episode, I'd like to share some works in progress and some Christmas decorations that we've been doing around our house here. My parents live in a local retirement community, and I'll also show some Christmas scenes from there. I'd like to talk about retirement communities in future episodes, the process of being accepted into a retirement community, and some topics like that. So that may be, hopefully that's relevant or helpful to you, maybe for yourself or for aging parents and thinking about that process or that possibility. So maybe I can answer some of your questions in that regard. But in today's episode, my focus is holiday season. My goal, as always, is to offer you calming content just from an ordinary knitter, someone who's just knitting for my own enjoyment or for gifts for friends and family. So if that all sounds interesting to you, pick up your knitting and join me and get cozy here by the fire. And I can start right now with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a scarf that does not have a set pattern. I made it out of the Zauberball sock yarn, the tropical fish colorway, and so it's got quite a few variations. Goes through the color wheel several times, and that's what makes it a fun knit, I think. Almost like knitting socks, but just a slightly bigger item. So I don't have any set pattern, like I said, but I did make some notes. I made this a few months ago. It was a vacation knit, and it was the perfect knit to take along because I had just started it, so it was very small and it didn't take up very much room, and we were traveling internationally, so that's when I was working on this. I used the Zauberball sock yarn comes in 100-gram balls, and so that's what I used, and I wanted to use the whole ball. You know, I didn't want to have anything left over. So I used a size 3 needles. You could, that's a 3.25 millimeter. You could, you know, adjust that. It is fingering weight, so you do maybe want to stay small. And it's just garter stitch. I cast on just a few stitches, like 4 stitches. I didn't use any I-cord on the edges. It has the shape of the famous Sophie scarf, but without the I-cord edging. So I did increase 1 stitch every 4 rows, but you could figure that out, whatever you want to do. I was just sort of doing it, making it up as I went along. So then we get halfway. I weighed the ball of yarn, and when it got to 50 grams, then I started the decreases, and so it makes that kite shape, where the ends come out to the smaller ends. So it's fun. I enjoy wearing it. It just jazzes up a plain black top. So that is my scarf today. The other thing I want to just share with you is this blanket. Let's see if it shows up. It's quite large. You see how I didn't measure it. I'm not sure how long it is, and I did not knit it. This was a gift knit from my grandmother. It is more than 50 years old, and it has comprised of many different kinds of stitches. Oh, there's some baubles. And I just love this. It's so lovely. I've used it so much over the years, and it's still in really good shape. There is a fringe edge on each side, and she just did such a lovely job. I don't have no idea what pattern it was or what yarn she used, although I'm pretty sure it's acrylic. Acrylic was used at least in our area, by knitters quite much more often than now. I think there was maybe not so many natural fibers available locally here where we live, and people were practical. At least my people are, and my family. And so you want to be able to wash this. You don't want to have to hand wash a piece that's this size. It's pretty heavy just as it is in its acrylic state. So, but it's held up well, and it's not pilled very much at all, considering it's more than 50 years old. So anyway, it means a lot to me, and I wanted to share it with you. And I was thinking about how when we make something like this for someone or for our own family, it gets passed on, and we're creating a long-lasting legacy piece with our knitwear that we create. Isn't that wonderful? Well, every year at Christmas time, for Christmas and Epiphany, and sometimes beyond that, I get out our nutcrackers and set them around the house. I thought I would take you along with me in getting these nutcrackers out and setting them around. These are very special to us because of where they came from and where we bought them. When we lived in Budapest, Hungary for 4 years, that was my husband, my son, young son, grade school age, and I. During those years when we lived there, Hungary was occupied by Russia, and as was other countries in that region, behind the Iron Curtain, as Churchill called it. So this would have been in the mid-'80s. And in Budapest, there was an East German shop that sold these nutcrackers because they were made in East Germany at the time, the far eastern part of Germany. And so here you can see the word Erzgebirge. Erzgebirge is the mountain range in eastern Germany. So this says Erzgebirge folk art, Folkkunst. All the boxes are the same. It is folk art from eastern Germany. And this is a very famous area for making nutcrackers. As I said, the mountain range is in eastern Germany and forms a border with the Czech Republic. But at that time, it was Czechoslovakia. So this region is famous for producing nutcrackers. And after World War II, American soldiers brought nutcrackers back home, and they became popular here in the US as well. And when we lived in Budapest, these were available to buy at communist prices, which was very cheap for us. And so if you see, here's the box for one of the nutcrackers, 335. So that's priced in Hungarian forints, Hungarian money, which is still the same today. And so for us, that was about $6. It was a little pricey for Hungarians at that time, but most prices during the communist era were kept unrealistically low so that working people could afford them. This is, oh, there it says, made in German Democratic Republic. That actually says it in English, which means that they were probably exported. Look at this box. This is typical communist packaging, totally utilitarian. If you didn't know there was a nutcracker in there, you would think it was, I don't know, a part for your toilet or something. But when you open up the flimsy cardboard, inside is a small sized nutcracker. And these are mostly decorative. Like, yeah, they say they can crack nuts, but really this is just to set around and provide decor. So there's many different styles here. This is called Hofjäger. So he is a hunter on the farm or on the Hof, on the estate, and of course a soldier here. And I have another example here. Another, let's see what the box calls it, because it's obviously a soldier. It says Hussar. Here's the price on this box, 410 forints. So that's about $8 for us. And the same box, the packaging is identical for all of these nutcrackers. I think there is a little sword. Oh yes, a sword for him. I need to find the pin that holds the sword. But these are just charming, and they're 40 years old. So they have very excellent craftsmanship for having survived 40 years, and we took good care of them, of course. But they're so charming, so I usually line them up, and this is rabbit, very soft rabbit hair, and that has really, the glue and everything is really quite sturdy even today. I will show you a picture of all of them all lined up so you can see the different styles. I did want to mention the textile that the nutcrackers are standing on. And this is a textile from Hungary. We bought years ago when we lived there. Hungarians are fond of the color red, and so there are many shades of red in their textiles and their folk art. But I like to buy them because they work so well, especially at Christmas time. But isn't that just beautiful hand-woven work? Hello, it is a sunny but cold afternoon here in Pennsylvania. It's about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 0 Celsius, and it's bright but just pretty cold. So I'm glad that you could join me by the fire, and I can spend some time chatting with you and updating you on some fun projects that I'm working on. And right now I have socks on my needles. That's for the first time I have not made socks before, and so it's been really fun. I have always wanted to uh, try a pair of socks, and so I have done that. And I believe in the last episode or two, I was talking about how I got this yarn. We got this yarn in in Colorado for my husband for a pair of socks, and it is Land du Nord. It's a watercolor series. They have a couple of different colorways for this watercolor collection, and so it kind of creates a gradient, a gradual color. The color evolves in a sort of watercolor way. So I'm happy to say that this is what it looks like when it is knitted up. I finished the first sock. Yay! And so it started. This was the middle of the ball, and so it gradually became forest green at the toe and starting to be even a little olive color at the toe. And first time for the heel flap, that all worked out okay. I did do that on 2 DPNs rather than the circular. I just felt like I could see what I was doing better. It is a slip stitch. Um, so I was really intrigued to do this whole process with the gusset and the decreases and the Kitchener stitch on the toe. So I'm really thrilled, and I like the way this turned out. So I'm working on the second one, and it was kind of an interesting. I have read about how sometimes with socks like this that have different colors in them, how crazy do you get when you're trying to start the second sock and have it look similar to the first sock? So my logic, not knowing anything about socks, I thought, well, I pulled from the middle of the ball, and I now know that the middle of the ball is green, like the end of this sock. So my logic was, if I look at the end that's on the outside of the ball, it is brown, and it's turning into olive. So rather than unravel everything and then, have to try and figure that out, which some people have done, I thought this looks similar enough. I think I can start this sock. So I did, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it is not quite the same, but it's not so different that it's going to bother anybody. So this one is a little bit more tan brown. This has a little more olive in it, in the colors that it's cycling through right now. So I think my theory worked, but it's going to take some time going down this sock before I really find out. I think we're headed for olive, so I think we'll be okay. But that's the fun of knitting, isn't it? Just to see this fabric evolving in your fingers. So that is the update on vanilla sock. I should mention vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars. This is by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, and she talked about using a US 1 or a 2.25 millimeter circular needle. I cast on the 1, but as I'm doing I tend to be a tight knitter, and especially if I'm not familiar with these tiny needles and how my hands are going to work with that, I felt like it was a little bit tight. So on the second sock, which I'll show you in a minute, I cast on using size 2, and I like that fabric better, and I think it's a little more stretchy, and I think my gauge is evolving as I get used to using these tiny needles. But one little story with that sock, the first one here, I carefully measured my husband's foot, and and my feet too. Watching the videos and showing how to do that. And you stand on the paper and you mark the paper and measure the circumference around near the ankle and into the instep and all. I had all those measurements, and I thought, okay, I have determined with 1 to 2 inches of negative ease that my husband would still be okay with a size small in this vanilla sock pattern. But as we finished up the sock and he tried it on, he can get it on, but it looks tight and it feels tight, especially around the top part of the foot. So the socks fit me, but they're a tiny bit long, but I think they will also fit our son. So they may turn into a gift knit. And we'll figure that out depending on how well the second sock turns out. So now that I know that I am for sure a small, I did get some sock yarn from an Etsy shop. I'll link that below. And I got some Active Super Garn sock yarn. Never used this before. The colorway is, well, it's 23-64, the Farber color. And so it is really a fun yarn to work with for me. Here, I'll turn it right side for the cuff, and then working down the leg. So this is cuff down, top down construction. Now I really like how that is unfolding, how the colors repeat themselves, and the black gives a nice accent. They are not Christmas socks necessarily because there are no red in them, but this is something that can be worn year round, or at least in the colder seasons. It is 75% wool, superwash wool, 25% polyamide. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun now on the third sock and just getting more and more familiar with sock construction. And I am taking the advice of other sock knitters to keep track of the rows so that you have some consistency with the number of rows in the leg and so forth. So I'm tracking that with stitch markers and finding that to be a very good system. The other work in progress I want to show you is a fingerless mitt. What fun to do this color work. It is so soft and nice and warm with the double layers from the color work. And this is the first time I've done a fingerless mitt too. So I'm having fun with these small accessories. This pattern is Different But Equal Fingerless Mitts, it is called. It is a $2 pattern on Ravelry, and the designer is Amanda Hall. She's from New Zealand. And these are knitted, I did follow the needle sizes, US 3 or 3.25 millimeter, and a US 6, which is 4 millimeter. And those two sizes are working for me. I'm making the adult medium, and the color work chart was super easy, and was having fun creating the pattern and following the chart. So this would probably be too easy for some of you experienced knitters, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And the yarn I'm using, this was a yarn from my stash, Classic Alpaca. It's 100% alpaca, really soft and squishy, and so that makes the mitts quite soft. That's the contrast color, and then the main color is Woolfolk in a gray, Woolfolk Tauve DK. And this is super nice to work with, and it's 100% merino. So main color and contrast color. So I'm starting here on my second cuff. I did put a lifeline in. For some reason, lately, my 1x1 ribbing sometimes has a glitch in it. And I think it's because I'm not paying close enough attention, or maybe my lighting isn't good where I'm working on this or something. But boy, I really hate frogging ribbing. It's just so hard to pick up all those stitches. They're all kind of weird and sticking out, and then they're twisted, and it's just, I would rather just get this right the first time. So of course I put the lifeline in, and of course I didn't need it. Yay, well, that's okay. I'm good with that, because now I'm done with the ribbing and I'm into ready to start the color work. So I didn't need the lifeline after all, but it's so easy to put in, and so I think I may continue to do that, just if nothing else, for a good luck charm. so so these are my projects. I'm having a lot of fun in this season. It's knitting weather, it's so nice to sit down under a blanket in the evening and just spend some time knitting with my projects. So I'm sure you're having fun with that too.